down here. Okay, well, I'm back again today on another live stream. Go back to work on the ASRock Fedora 26. I'm looking down there, helps me remember system. Getting it all set up. It's a new system build, and getting it all set up. I'm gonna let my mom use it for a while I rebuild hers. Hers is Fedora 14. It needs to be upgraded, and yeah, I'm a little behind on that. It works so good though. I hate to change it, but it's got, the browser won't update anymore past a certain version and everything. So it's actually not too. I think it might be one version behind what Debian 8 will do. I've got Debian 8 on my laptop. I just put it on there recently in one of my laptops. So anyway, it stays behind a little bit. They go for stable more than, as they say, cutting edge. And Fedora, they always say goes for cutting edge. But of course, it's not all that. I mean, the normal Fedora, as long as you don't go for like the testing and all that repos, the repositories, then it's not really hardly. You don't run into too much buggy stuff though. Anyway, but the first thing I want to do is back up all of her files, her Thunderbird email profile, everything. I need to back it up. I'm going to back it up onto my USB hard drive, which I went ahead. I've got 3 routers in JZ chained together, and so hers is on the second router. The ASRock in this machine I'm on right now is on my first router, the TP-Link, and then hers is on the TrendNet, but I also have my server on the TrendNet. So what I'm going to do, I can't get into it until I forward the right port. I had the port probably forwarded to a different machine or something. So I'm going to just get on the camera that points at the monitor, and then I'll use my KVM switch to get over there on my server. It runs all the time. It's my web server. And if I can get it to hit it. There we go. I use my remote sometimes, my extended remote. Usually I use that pencil down. Well, you can't see it, but you couldn't see it. I forgot I set it so that you would be able. It's dark all around the monitor. I just remember that. So anyway, that way you can. It's not all washed out, all white. So I'm going to get in the browser here. See, yeah, I think I remember what the IP of that thing is. That router. You won't be able to see it good because it's blurry, but my cameras just can't do any better than that, my phone cameras. And that's all I have. I don't have a real camera anymore. I had one years ago. Okay, let's see. This is only a single core. It's a 2.5 or 2.6 gigahertz or something, but it's a single core. But it does good for a server. But it's not too great for trying to use a web browser. There we go. I don't want 1.1. I think it's 10.1. I think it was showing. It showed previous, places. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I couldn't remember. I usually never did save the passwords to routers in any browsers. It could end up being a problem, But I've been doing it lately on my main machine that I use all the time because I'm going in there all the time. So anyway, this one's not saved, and I don't believe I will save it. Got to find the password though, because I don't remember it. I used to remember these passwords, but well, I change them every once in a while too. But so. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, see, it always wants to remember it. And it's got to where it, okay, never, yeah, my newer browser, it seems like it doesn't have the never remember option anymore. This should be new, though. Should be. I have my browser set to update automatically, 50.1.0. Maybe it, and I don't get into it very often, though. Maybe it's Got into it a week or so ago, and I let it go ahead and update it. All you got to do is open the browser, and it'll download the update. And if you go in here, if there is an update, it'll start doing it instantly if you go into the About. So anyway, I guess that's the newest one. I was thinking it was 51 or 52 by now on Firefox, but I don't remember. That was 50. Oh, I read that off. Okay, what do I want? They're all different. You got the way they give names to stuff, routing, I think, is what you go to on this one. Dynamic routing table, no, it's not that. Access. Let's see. I never do remember until I click around a while. Virtual server. Yeah, that would be it. It's funny how the same functionality, they give it different names, and sometimes in different router brands. It's kind of silly. They should kind of stick with the same thing so it all makes sense. Oh, okay. So it's, yeah, that's going to my server. Okay. And then, oh, yeah. Okay. So, what I need to look at, I forgot to look at the, let's go to status. Yeah, status. Yeah, if I hold down control, I can click on it and it'll open up another page so I don't lose the one I'm on. Is that where you gotta go? I guess so. DHCP table. Usually most of the routers have something on the left to take it to DHCP clients. Act like it wants to go there. There it is. Okay. Now what machine is it? Ah, there it is. 106. Oh, okay. Oh, it's not in the static list, so it's not getting the same one every time. I think it used to be different IP than what it is right now. Let's see if I can add that to the static list. Well, it's probably going to stay on this router for a while, so get too many tabs open and this stupid machine won't be able to handle it, but let's try it. Okay, static routes. All right. Network mask. No, that's not what I want. Look in the routing table. No, that's not it either. Yeah, okay. It's been a while since I've been in this one. I can't remember. I need to put its IP and its MAC address in there, wherever. Virtual server, no. Special IP, management, tools, status, wireless, routing. It's got to be in the routing section. Static was not it. I don't think. The static routes are like what you'd want to set up for a server. Let's see. Sometimes it says IP address reservation and stuff like that. That might have been it in this one. It's not under virtual servers. That's where I was a minute ago. That's when you see. That's the easiest way to send it. Instead of trying to go through static routes and all that, just do virtual server and it'll send it. Always, it'll send it to that machine. You can set it to always go to so-and-so IP address. But if your machine keeps changing its IP address every time you reboot the router or every other time, it's kind of random, then it won't work the next time you try it. Access, wireless, status, routing. Must have lost my network address, network mask. The reason it throws me, you don't normally have to put network mask in there. It's usually already in there. Oh, this is where you do it. I wasn't paying attention. MAC address. I was right there. You don't have to go to a different spot. This is one that's actually so easy. I made it hard. The other ones you've got to go all over BFE to to get it to. get to the right page, and this one is right there. Where actually one of the better, easier ones to do. So her machine, the IP address that it has right now, and her MAC address, and hit apply. That should do it. Sometimes you have to reboot the router to save some of these things, but I don't think you do on this one. Well, it may. Yeah, it's not in the static. See, that makes it a static DHCP list. That's what it's called in this one. Which really is what it really is. But yeah, after I reboot, then it'll be there from now on. I don't know if I want to do it right now, or I think I will, so that I'll know, because if I'd made some sort of mistake and it didn't work right or whatever, then let me go ahead and set what it is I want to go there this time, though, because sometimes I have to go in here and change it, because sometimes I want that port to go to my router, and sometimes I want it to go to this, say this machine here. So go ahead and get that IP again. Now, all I actually have to do here is change the IP address. Okay, update. Anything else I want to go there? Yes, there is something else I want to go there. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, update. Now it should work. Now I should be able to get there from my TP-Link router and the machine on my TP-Link router. But I'm going to go ahead and reboot it so that it will update that list, make sure that it all worked right. And I'll just do it from here, I think. Tools. Usually I get up and do it on the actual router. Well, usually I'm trying to do it because they're slowing down, and I want to make them. I want to make sure it cleans the cache and the reboot the router. Make sure it cleans the cache and the forgot the other word completely. And in my experience, it doesn't seem to do it completely if you use the the web interface to reboot them. But if you either unplug them or use the power button, the ones that have a real power button that completely turns it off, you see the lights go completely out, all lights, and then they come back. Then when you turn it back on, they come back up. That's like same thing as unplugging it. Only it's probably not as hard on the software. I would think it would give the software time to stop whatever it was doing before it reboots. If you just unplug it, it's just boom right there, So you could cause, you could be in the middle of writing. It could be in the middle of writing something or something like that. I'll give it a little time to reboot. But if you do it here in the interface, yeah, so you can tell by on Fedora Linux, you can tell because it'll say your network connection is established, so you're probably ready to go back into it. Yep. So, it had misspelled the username, and it was still in there, but luckily, on those drop-down lists, sometimes you can hit delete on the one you don't want and get it out of there so that you don't keep running into it. And I've already forgot what the password was. So, where is it? I've lost the router. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to do it over SSH on the network. So, how did I find that? The DHCP table? I think so. Yeah. Okay, now it's in the list, isn't it? No. Why isn't it in the list? I hope I didn't make it disconnect from the... I might have to reboot that machine or something, but it's not in the list. Doesn't always mean that it's not there, though. So let's see if I can get to it. And could have just caused myself a real headache. I mean, I can go in there and reboot it, or actually all I'd have to do is disconnect the network and then reconnect it, because if it didn't refresh itself like it should, but it's not in the list, period. It doesn't show up to even be there. Oh, let's go see. Sometimes when you're too thorough, you just give yourself more headaches. But if I can get here from the get an SSH connection to it from the in Crusader, then I'll know I can get to it. I should be able to get to it from the other router too, because it's forwarded. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to make sure this machine, well, of course, I started thinking, well, maybe the machine's not even on this router like I thought, but it is, because I just saw it on there. It was fresh, you know, so I think I have the, yep, there's what its IP was. Yeah, it's there, it's just not showing up. Do you want to, authenticity, yes, I trust the machine. Okay, now then. Yeah, a lot of the most of my routers do that on you. That you know they will. So I'm there. So now I'll be able to back it up. But this is not the machine that I want to do it on, because it's a single core. And I'm going to use Lucky Backup, the backup app, and it is, I'm just looking at kind of getting where I want to get in my local stuff here. Lucky Backup does use a lot of resources, but it's also the quickest backup app. It'll do it quicker, and it's actually more accurate. The syncing, you know, to make sure it gets the newest file and all that stuff, is much better than the one in Crusader. They actually, several years ago, they said, now this is kind of in twilight hours. We're not really going to keep supporting this, but if you want to use it, go ahead, you know. So I still keep I use it all the time. It's fine for simple, you know, syncing options and stuff. But when you're doing a lot of files, because let's see, it's a 250 gigabyte hard drive. I got it split in half. One side is got Fedora 14. One has Mint Linux, and also it's the backup drive. I mean backup partition. And so anyway, they're over the years, you know, with all the pictures and things, and I made her a bunch of instructional videos when I built it in the beginning. There's it's getting pretty, you know, I don't remember what's left on it. It's not really a lot, 20 gig or 10 gig or something. So anyway, my 4.5 terabyte backup drive, well, it's got like, I've already got it, I think it's down to 3.3 terabytes or something, but that's still plenty of room to back it up. But it's going to take a while. So let's see if I can get there now from my machine, because I can show that on the remote desktop. I mean, on the desktop screencast. Let's see. Oh, wait, let's do. There's no real point in doing that again. Already tried that out. Of course, that was from the same router, but let's go ahead and get remote desktop out. And do I remember? Well, I won't have to remember. The last one I tried to connect to is the IP that router is given on this network. There we go. There we go. So it's working. and I've got it forwarded. I can do remote desktop, or I can do VNC. I mean, this is VNC, or I can do SSH connection to do my backups. So when I get on the ASRock, I haven't booted it up yet. I'll go ahead and boot it up. I can do what I need to, and so I will back up Thunderbird and all of her files and everything, and that'll be cool. Okay. Glad I did that, because if I had needed to get in there to do something, I wouldn't have been able to, and I'd have to fool around doing it. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to show how that's done. You know, people that don't know how to do that, when you've got it's called subnets or subnetworks. You know, when you got more than one router with different IP addresses, then that's actually the simplest way to do all that for me, because I've tried several times over the years. I've read about it and stuff, and you know, that's networking can get really complicated. But I always thought, well, I would rather have like my router, let's say the router that's connected to my modem, be the one that's the DHCP server and send out IP addresses to all the rest of them. And well, there's one problem: some of them just don't support that by default. And like I have, I think it was my Netgear router that's not a Wi-Fi router, just a router. I think it's the only one I have that by default would support that. Or maybe it was a different one, but anyway, I can't remember. Yeah, it might not be, because anyway, I never could get it working. However I set it, I would just end up with them. If you turn off the DHCP server, it just does nothing. It won't pick up the IP, you know, the IP address coming from say the TP-Link, with the one that I'd be trying to use right now is the main one. And you know, you've got to set the gateway, the mask, all that stuff, and I know how to do it, but something I just never got right, or maybe it was something that router software wouldn't do, and I just didn't understand it. But I couldn't never get them to work. Finally, when I started using the Netgear again, I'm just sitting here on a blank screen talking. I was sitting here using the Netgear again. Let's go ahead and get this thing booted up, get it back on there, switch over to the ASRock, and boot it up. Before I do that, let's go ahead and check my string. My KVM switch has gotten to where it doesn't. It's hard to hit. It doesn't want to stop in the right place, and it's also hard to see it. The only place I could put it is way back under my monitor, and I have to stick something there to get to the buttons too. But anyway, it's finicky, and it has been for years. It still works, but I paid $100 for it about 01 or 02 or something like that. So maybe it's 2000. I don't remember anymore. Let's see if we're doing good. I paid $100 for it, but yep, we're still good. So you know, I don't want to buy another one unless I absolutely have to. I'm sure they're going to cost more than $99.99 now. So and one that's 4 ports or more, you know. This is 4 ports, and it has USB. I think it's USB 1.1 or whatever, 1.0. Okay, that's the ASRock. Okay. Boot it up. Anyway, the networking stuff. I finally did get that Netgear router to. I got it on its. Successfully changed its IP range and got it working, because it was 1.2.0.1, and so is my TP-Link, and they were fighting each other. And so I had to figure out how to change it, and I did. But I tried right quick to get it to be on, just take its IP from the other router that was connected to. It's actually third on the daisy chain. It's not connected to the TP-Link, and I couldn't get that to work. But I did give it my own new IP address range, and I got that working. I had to, but anyway, it's probably me. I'm not good with numbers is the thing, and I type them wrong. I'm not good at typing because my eyes swap letters and numbers, and I get things wrong all the time. So anything that involves a lot of accurate typing numbers, or like when you're trying to write a script, or like I took a class on Python programming and understood it, but I wasn't any good at it whatsoever. So I understood about, well, I guess 3/4 of it, maybe half of it. I understood most of the principles, but when it got into the math part, I was no good. So, okay, now I've got to get my new password for that out. Probably don't need the router stuff anymore. Okay, sorry, I'm discombobulated here. Okay, so I guess I'm on the, yeah, I think I went ahead and got on camera too, so you did see me booted up and all that, I believe. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is open up TeamViewer. I don't think it fit the monitor right, really. There it is. But I'm not gonna stay on this one. I'm gonna go back to my main machine anyway, so I won't fool around with it. You gotta match those buttons. You gotta match just. Sometimes you can just flip. Sometimes you can just flip the KVM switch and it'll straighten itself out. It's supposed to be on automatic fit. Sometimes you can turn it on and off, and then if that don't work, then you have to do the settings, and I can never remember the right sequence of buttons to match, and it just aggravates me every time I have to fool with it. So as soon as TeamViewer opens up, yes, I need that. Every time you reboot, the TeamViewer has an auto-generated password. You got to. I've been writing it on the main. I guess that's okay. I had it written down. The ID number stays the same, but its little password changes automatically. And I can't remember it long enough to flip back over to the other machine. Now I go back to my machine that I'm streaming from, my Lenovo i5. Slowly but surely here. I can't hit it. Come on. There. It bounces and it skips. It doesn't hit. When you hit the button once, it doesn't stop on the one that the next one. It'll skip around. Okay, desktop screencast. Now, this time, I don't want to use my regular VNC app. I got to use TeamViewer. That's right. Yeah, TeamViewer does have a Linux version that will install on Fedora, and it's pretty good. It's speedy. It's actually the speediest one I've used. There was one. There's quite a bit of difference in how slow or fast the VNC app will be in the same conditions. So it was one that I really liked a lot. I think it was Vinegary VNC server that I used to use all the time. Let me get logged in here. And I think it got, as Fedora got newer, it got harder to get it set up and working. And then I tried out TeamViewer, and then I was like, hey, because I was always seeing it talked about in articles, like anytime they mention good remote desktop apps, they would mention it. So I thought, well, it's not open source, but I'll try it since it does have free versions. And it's good. It is. So, now, we're looking at, let me see. I have to make darn sure. I'm on desktop. Okay. I have to make darn sure I am. Sometimes I'm talking about something and I'm like still stuck on a camera because I forgot to switch or something. I was looking down at all my icons and not in the places I want them. I thought, you know what, I really need to get that set up the way I like it. Really bugging me. Okay, now I could just log on to that machine right here from, let's go ahead and do it, make sure I know it's going to work. Right here from Crusader. And then I already have my 4.5 terabyte drive. Plug it in and it's mounted up when I boot it up. Let's see, backup, no Wi-Fi. Doesn't look like I've made a major backup of that machine. So that's what I'll do. First I'll make a folder. That's the newer machine, not Gotrod, Hot Rod. Theta's Hot Rod. Theta's Hot Rod PC. That was the name I gave it. Because it, well, I've got another box just like it in here, and it's not running right now, but it has red and blue lights on it, and it just reminded me of a hot rod car all painted up. So there we go. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I don't have, okay, no, I do not have like duplicate folders or anything. Okay, so now I forgot the IP address. And I really don't like all this extra junk in there. It really throws me off. I can't even find the right spot to start typing anymore. That's like it's not letting me type there. Oh, it's not because I'm not in the right place. Where is the... On this side it has it, okay. It's like it won't let me type. I think it's set up different. There's no place for me to type in there. I can't have that. Let's see, toolbar settings. Let's go up here to tools. Oh, settings. Show terminal, show command line, show FN keyboards. I went through that yesterday in that other video for a little bit, and it wasn't what I wanted. Configure toolbars, I guess. Now, what is it? Oh no, that's not what I want. Configure shortcuts. Configure Crusader. Why did they take that out? That's ridiculous. Panel. That part is set up the way I want it. Usually I do that as soon as first time I open it up. Media menu, show mount path, show file system type. That's fine, yeah. Okay, Crusader mode, selection mode, Crusader mode. That's the way I would want it. Buttons. History. This is probably where that one thing I don't want. Open folder history. Maybe that's it. Yep. Okay, I don't want that. Bookmarks button. Media button. That's probably not the one I want to take away. No. Well, I don't know what media button is. What happened? I cannot even see what it took out. Whoops. Media button. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it alone if I can't even show history button, bookmarks button. See if that's it. Yeah, that gets rid of that thing I didn't really like. Now, wait. I see. That is something I want, but they made it big and wide. I used that. Oh, I can't try it until I get out of here. Show panel toolbar. Now, I know I want that. That would be the whole thing up there. No? What was it? It seems like it has two. Okay, let me look in my other one. See? This is what I'm talking about. I can type in here. Well, you saw me do that a while ago. I can type where I want to go in there. And all I have right here is that. But if I do want, I can go up one more, okay, and I can click and select a different drive if I want. That's all good. But there's something really seems different. I think it just looks different because it has. Well, part of it's because it's a different theme. I guess that's a big part of it. Okay. That is better, but I still can't type in there. Navigation bar. Edit mode by default. There. Is that it? Oh, here it is. I think that was it. Yeah. I have to close it to find out. There we go. Okay. What was it? 0.8? It's going to be the same IP. See, I'm on the TP link. What did I do wrong? It says not supported. Why is it not supported? It is in my older version. On the 2.168.0.8 SFTP. Why would they take away? Boy. If it ain't broke, people don't fix it. Why did you break something? Configure Crusader. I don't know if it's turned off in here or something. Like, and you know. It's one thing I always turn on auto mount file systems, which seems to help. When if you click on something on it and it's not mounted, it'll try to mount it. Leave that as it is. You can add more packers, zip type, zip compression files. If you can't see the letters in there, you can change the font sizes, which I probably have already done. They usually are too small for me. There's two places to do that, in there, and then in down there in the other end where I was at. Okay, so I don't see anything that would help me do that. SFTP 192.168.0.108. I don't think it's just because I don't have the, it's not because I don't have the slash on the end. FTP. It's trying to do it now. Why would it quit supporting SFTP? But what did it say? Cannot connect. So I probably have the wrong IP anyway. What am I have to do? Go back to my, well, I'm on my main machine. All I got to do is go back to where I went a minute ago. It's not in there. Oh yeah, I did it on remote desktop, didn't I? A regular remote desktop. I didn't do it on Crusader. Well, I can find out the IP address right quick because it'll be 108, 192.168.0.108. Okay, let's try it in here. Yeah, it's still different. It just looks different. I think it's the theme I'm running. SFTP 192.168.0.108. Now you may be watching me go around in circles. No match for the server. I went into it from. Sometimes I don't, when I'm trying to type a colon, I type semicolon. That's what I was going to say. Surely I had that right. SFTP 192.168.0.108. It worked over there. Let's see, what did I try? I thought I tried it in here a minute ago. Oh, I tried remote desktop. Okay. I must not have got that set up right to forward. I tried it in the one that the IBM server, the one that's on the same IP, same router, and it worked. So I know that I did get it forwarded right. Yeah, I did SFTP. I didn't do plain FTP. This is an unexpected problem, and it's throwing me in circles. SFTP. Okay, I can see this better actually. It's a little bigger. Protocol error. Not supported. It's always been supported. All of a sudden it won't work. Huh. Okay. Where's that little button that says, yeah, let's see if what happens if I just, usually the local network button does you no good. That's all it does. It just does that. It doesn't give you any choices. It used to work years ago. You could click on it and it would show you the available network connections. And the reason this is, I'm going around and around with this, and I wanted to make sure it was going to work because I wanted to use Lucky Backup. But Lucky Backup is it's a little more tricky to set it up and make it work with SSH. Maybe I'm getting into opening a big can of worms here. SFTP, FTP, SFTP. It just says it can't go there. So let's just go back to the home directory for now. Well, let's try the remote desktop and make sure that I didn't lose the machine somehow. I was just on there. Yeah. Okay. Well, since I'm right here, let's go into, let's use this machine to go into the router. Make sure that I haven't somehow lost. Set it up wrong. I'm doing remote desktop. Okay, good. Whoops, wrong one. Which machine do I want? This one. Okay. Let's see. No one. Okay. So I'll go to yeah, see, I've got her set pretty big. I may have to, oh, I got to drag that down. I've got it set big enough that it won't fit in there. I could make it full screen, but then this is one of the ones that's hard to get out of full screen. It'll work. I mean, you can do it by hovering up here, but sometimes it doesn't want to come up and let you do it. It's still not showing her in the list, but she's there. I'm remote controlling her, you know, not her machine, of course. You can't remote control your mom. She wouldn't like that. So, she wouldn't let you. Okay. What was I going to do? Routing. Okay. Oh, that wasn't where I wanted to be, was it? It's already right there. Static routes. Oh, no, yeah, you do want to go to routing. Or is it access? Might be access. Virtual server. Access virtual servers. Okay, so. Yeah, I didn't pay attention. Well, the IP address, let's see, yeah, 106, 106. Yeah, I did that right. SFTP port. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So it's not that I messed up on that. So get out of that. Close that for now. Let's just open up Lucky Backup and see. It's just unexpected things, one right after the other here. So I'll just find Lucky Backup. If I can get in there, let's see. Now there's two ways to set up a backup. You can do it as regular user or as super user. And if you want your backup to run on boot, then do it as super user. But if it's just it won't run. If you can work your little heart out setting it up in regular user, and then if you want to set it to automatically do it after, like on boot or before you shut down or whatever. I always have mine like 10 minutes after I boot, in case I'm booted up and want, like I'm working on the machine and I boot it up and I want to shut it down immediately because I'm trying to fix something or whatever. So I find that that's a problem. So, but if you do it before you shut down, then it just drives me crazy. I want that machine when I'm ready for it to shut down. I want it to shut. Sometimes I'm just very often I'm having to reboot my machines nowadays because they won't run anymore until they're rebooted. So anyway, let's do this now. See, you're gonna have to put in your root password. Let's see. But so anyway, if you set it up like this, I'm not actually going to probably set this one up to automatically run. It's probably, but I might later. Right now, it's going to be this one-time deal because it's going to go to that drive that's not going to normally be plugged in. But so I'm going to go add add. I thought this would be the quick thing to do. I wanted to get it set up and running quick so that it would get this thing starting to back up. And you always want to get the advanced opened up, and then you have to kind of drag it over. Well, you can do this, then you can see it all. But you want to be able to see the whole, what's available here. And I'll give it a name in a minute, but the source, that's the first thing we want to get to. Now, oh yeah. It's been a while since I tried to set it up. You know what? This may be way harder than I was thinking because I forgot. How do you get? I can't remember how. It's kind of tricky. Once you get it done, you think, oh, it wasn't that bad, but it's kind of tricky to get an SSH, remote a network, back up a network. The simplest way is when you've got. Okay, here we go. Go back over here. Let's go right here. And go to file system, I think. And, okay, yeah, places. Okay, network. Let's browse the network. No, nothing's showing up. That machine is not serving. When you do browse network, it's really, well, you might have an NFS set up or something, but usually it's going to be Samba network for Windows sharing, and that's what you would see there. If you had an NFS, I used to use those a long time ago, and I've actually forgot how to set them up. Again, I think the changes, they considered it to be kind of insecure, and the changes for security made it really hard to set up. I guess they kind of wanted to discourage people from setting it up. Let's see. Let's try share and let's see. Oh yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday and it didn't work. Okay, network connections. Yeah, I don't even have an app on here to to set me up easily set up a network share. What I want to do though, it's not actually a share that I want to do. I want to mount a network connection. And this desktop is different than what I'm used to. I'll show you what I mean. This is, the top part up here. Let's just get out of there so it won't be confusing. If I was on my Mate desktop, I would go here and say connect to a server on places. So that's what I'm used to. Yeah. Let's see. Let's just go that in here, and I'll just see what whatever file manager. Oh, I've got that set up to go to Crusader. The default file manager, whichever one it is, that's the one that would make it easy. Let's see. Go to File. Try that one. If that's not one, I'll go to the next one. I'll just see if surely there's one of these that has easy to connect. Browse network. That's where I just went. Open a location. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. That might do it. And what was that IP? Let's see. I've already forgot. 106. Oh, it's 108. That will get me there. Yes, yes. Okay, copy, cancel. Okay, 108 will get me there. Should get me there. Didn't come up with anything, did it? Open a location. Didn't come up with anything. Is it hiding? No, it's not there at all. If I can get this to work, you'll end up seeing what I'm doing. Okay. Let's see, file. Okay, let's try the next one. That's Thunar. Okay. Maybe it'll have it. Oh, that's just the settings. Thunar file manager. I thought that icon looked funny. It says configure. I don't really think Thunar. CAJA is probably the one. Let's try it let's see what else is in here. Kaja. That's the default file manager, I think, in Mate. Yeah, when you got this much stuff, well, I mean, when you got a lot of apps, it's good, but it also makes it harder to find what you're looking for. Okay, let's see what this one has in it. It's got a terminal window up in the top. I wonder if I set that or something. How funny. I might have done that. I might have installed some kind of add-on. Let's see. Browse the contents of the network, but that's not what I want to do. I want to... I don't believe it. I just tried that, and that I think it's another file manager, but no. Okay, it takes you right there. Okay, that's not the one I want. I want open a network location. Well, and just saying browse network doesn't get you anywhere. Okay. Darn speakers. Ever since yesterday, they just started kind of buzzing in the background. They usually don't do that, and it's driving me crazy. I can hear it. I don't know if it's something that I was doing all that adding, all the stuff I added to my mixer yesterday, my audio mixer. Shouldn't have done it though, because they're not actually connected back to this machine. Oh, I think it's happening when I boot up the ASRock. I think that's what it is. Browse the network. That doesn't work. I need to mount a network location, just like you can do in here. Surely that's not just something you can't do easily. And let's go and look in here. Should be a network. Is there a network section in here? Internet. sometimes they put them together. Doesn't look like it. I went into Thunar, didn't I? Or did I not? Yeah, I did. It just brings you up there. Well, I could try putting my IP address in there. I don't know if it'll take SFTP or not. Let's try it and see. Yeah, it did. Okay. There. Sometimes you can. Now it's mounted. So now I should be able to find it in. I'm going to copy that. Should be able to find it in. It's got to be mounted first. You won't be able to get there. Now, see, here's the thing. I can't paste it into here. And it's not showing up over here either. Try recently used, stuff like that. Let's do that search thing and see. I don't think that'll work, but no. File system. Okay, so how do I do it? Let's see. Remote. Okay, remote. Use a remote host. Okay, I guess that's where I'm. I don't think you put SFTP in there because I think that's the default. And I don't remember if you need the forward slash. I'm going to leave it at. Oh, I want source, not destination. Okay, source. Now, remote module, SSH port. Yeah, I want SSH. It's going to show when I type it, so I don't want to do that. It says password. If it wasn't so wide, it wouldn't. But it's better because you can see everything. I don't think I have to. If I don't have to use a private key file, then I'll be all right. I may have to make a public key for it. I had to do that one time. Let's see if I can connect to it though. But I'm gonna have to do something different here. What can I do? I'll let you see my beautiful face while I do it. Okay, now remind me to get back off of there. Okay. I guess one good thing is I can see whether or not I'm typing. You know, I can see that I'm typing it. Okay. Remote. Okay. Source. Okay. That's valid. Now there's a validate button on there. It just crashed. Well, isn't that special? Okay. Now I'm starting to get a bit aggravated. Okay, let's see. I'll try lucky back up. Whoops, that's super user mode. I'll try it in normal user just to see if that makes any difference. Let's go back to the desktop so you can see what I'm doing again. Okay, so now this is lucky backup. I didn't think to switch ahead of time. I'd open it back up in regular user mode instead of super user mode, non-commercial use. Okay, add. Go ahead and make that big enough to see it. What are we looking at? That makes it where I can't tell. I usually just grab that corner and make it big enough to see everything, and then I'm good. Okay, advanced. There we go. When you're in the advanced mode, if you can't see that last one there, you're in trouble. Okay. Now we need remote. Okay. Use remote host as a source. The host will be, yeah, I don't think you need anything but the IP address. And since I've got it where it, well, this is the IP address of the router actually. Now this might be my, no, I've always been able to do that. I was going to say maybe that's why I can't do it, because it's going through the router, not straight to the machine. Now maybe in Lucky Backup, but as far as Crusader, I've always been able to do that right through the router. So I've never had a trouble. Yeah, see, that's not all showing. That's what I was talking about. There we go. Now I can see everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type my password in that, and I'll get back off of it again, and then I'll hit validate. And if it crashes again, then we'll give up on it. Okay, so show me again. You know, it's pretty, it crashed it. And maybe that's because I didn't have everything set right, but what the heck. I don't remember it crashing on me. I went in and hit. It asked me if I wanted to report it. I'm going to hit report. Let's see if it makes me fill out a whole bunch of stuff or not. That's a... Do we want to upload the bug file? Sensitive data. Yeah, it's going to show that password, so I'm going to say no this time. Usually I just say yes, but this time in particular, no. The bug, automatic AB, what is it? ABRT, automatic bug reporting app. I believe that's what this is that it's using here. Yeah, ABRT. It's pretty cool. And sometimes they'll actually write you if you let them have your email address and ask you, would you try this? Would you try that? And they helped me learn over the years. When I first 5, 6 years I was using Fedora, they helped me learn things and figure things out. And they like for people to do it because it helps them find bugs and squash them, as they say. And that right there will show you what's going on. It takes a little while usually to... But used to you had to fill out like a bunch of blanks before it would let you submit it, but it kind of streamlined it now, so I think it'll probably just do it. They could end up. I already, you have to have an account and a username, and that's already, I guess it's not asking me for it, so unless it does here in a minute, it's already in this machine. I've already put it in there. So you got to join up. Anyway, it's well worth it. If you want to learn more, if you want to figure out what the heck's been going wrong and all that, I don't do it all as near as often as I used to. But if something's not working like that used to work, then usually I might go ahead and do it. Okay, screencast. Okay, so now I'm beginning to be quite a bit forlorn about why this is not working. And I would never try to do a full backup, especially with like 115 gigabytes with one of these file managers. It would take 3 days. They're too slow. I'm just going to let that work and try to find another way to do this. Let's see. There are backup apps, Lucky Backup. I might not have another backup app in here. I don't have another one. That's the one I like. I usually don't have trouble with it. That's what's bugging me. Okay. Do I have Filezilla or any of that stuff in here? Let's see what I've got. This is not... Well, I had a feeling to make a video of this, but I thought, oh, this would be simple. Get this running and let it run while I'm doing other stuff, you know. It's not simple. It's not working right. But let's see. Okay, let me get out here again. We'll just leave that working. Let me go back over here. Now, I tried this a minute ago. I'm trying to refresh my own memory here. Oh, I already had the whole thing in my SFTP. I think I got an error from my machine too. I was saying it should work. No match for method server host key algo server SSH. Sometimes you have to clear if you have old host keys for that IP address, which happens quite often, really. Let's see, what is it? Local. I always forget where to go. I think you have to go into a folder. Just go through here this way and look for it. Oh, it's dot local. Maybe that's it. Local share. No, that's not it. There's not much in there. I remember that. It's a dot host. SSH. Yeah. Dot SSH. Okay, yeah. Known hosts. Now you just hit edit. Make sure you edit it. I mean, you could double click. And quickest way for me to find it myself here is to see if that IP, there it is. See that IP address? I'm going to delete it. The rest of them I'm going to leave because it'll keep bugging me. Let's back it up first. I like to do that. I'm just going to do it like that and overwrite that. Overwrite that one. Boy, my sound is loud in there. Now, go back and find it again. It's in there twice. Well, that's not really. It looks like it has two host keys, so let's get rid of both of them. That could be my problem. Now let's search for it again. And where is it? It's the top one, isn't it? Yeah. So wide that it's hard to get it all. You can just delete them all. Just don't delete the file. Just delete all the keys. But then the next time I want to get in, hit save. Next time I want to get in to these others, it'll be asking me 100 questions. So, like my phones, the ones that are 2222, that's my phones that are streaming. And I'd be getting aggravated, it'd be aggravating because next time I want to use them, make a video, they'd be asking, say, where no host key stored and all that stuff. So, I'll just go over here this time and try to connect in case I need to get back in there. Okay, error, no match for method server host key algo server. This is a different error though. I know it was, but I thought let's just try it. SFTP ... 192.168.0.108. I don't understand. Only thing I can figure is this particular router won't do. I just don't remember that it didn't work right. But you see, I was able to get into it. I was able to get into it the other, with the other file manager over here on my remote desktop. Let's see. Downloading 405 megabytes install size. Oh, it's installing that debug stuff. I don't want to fool with that right now. I'm going to cancel it. I didn't notice. I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I'm not gonna. I could always go back and resubmit that if I wanted, but I'm trying to get something else done here. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it that way very good. There's nothing. It's a lot of things coming up, but those aren't SSH apps, except for that Sparkle share. But that's like an internet file sharing thing. All kinds of things coming up. I guess it's because they have a functionality that will work with SSH. Let's see. File. You would see Filezilla if I had it installed. I really don't like using it, but it does work pretty good. So looks like it's going to might be my best way to do this on this for some reason. I can't. I think I'll go into Lucky Backup on my machine. The only reason I wasn't going to do it on my machine is because it really uses quite a bit of resources, and I didn't want my machine to be. Yeah, I don't want to do it on my machine. It'll be basically crippled. Well, let's look. Let's go back and just see if it would crash on my machine if I were going to set it up. Okay, am I still on the desktop? Yes, okay. This is Fedora 23 and that's Fedora 26 on that machine. So I'll show you, and like this would be my normal backups. Let's see. Every time I give root privileges to a program, I get the SC Linux alert, but it doesn't SC Linux alert, but it doesn't hurt anything. Now here's something funny. I had forgot, and I had made all my backups in default, default user, the default in the regular user, not super user like right here. And so they wouldn't work. But you can, and I did not want to start all over because it's quite time consuming. So I imported it, and when I imported it, it wouldn't let me save it as default. So I named it default Don. That's why that's in there. But so if you want to see them, in my particular instance, I have to go in here. If I would have built them in the root super user mode, I'd have been fine. But all these, yeah, see those ones with the exclamation points? That's the ones that are normally run every time I reboot the system. But since it's gone, it shows an error. And these are some of the ones, like occasionally I will plug in my SD card on a USB adapter from my phone, take them out of the phones and put them in here. And that's what all those are. But I'd manually do those that are not automatic. You think, yeah. Now let's just say maybe I wanted to, of course I don't have that drive, but let's just say it's not plugged in, but I'll leave it as is for right now. Let's say I decided I wanted to have her machine, every time it was, every time I boot up my machine, it'll look for hers and try to back it up. I would do like this, and oh yeah, we don't want. See, this is okay. There's a remote module rsync password file, which is one of the ways I did it before. Let's see. User. Oh yeah, I want it to be source. Luckily, you can change that when you forget like that. And I think you just it'll just say it'll be @host192 like that, and then SSH port 22. Oh, I see what I was doing wrong now. It's not laid out right. See, it says password. That word password should be over here in front of private key file. Oh, that's a file. Well, what I'm wondering, it says password, so maybe I don't. Well, that's what I was doing. I just assumed that SSH port, that's the standard port's 22, so I said, okay, it's on 22. But now I'm wondering, okay, do you type 22 in here? Maybe you type 22 in here, and then you have to use a private key file. That's what I kind of remember. And you have to generate one, which is not too hard. That may be why it was crashing. I'm going to do like I've been doing and see if it crashes it. What was I doing? Okay, I was clicking SSH port and then typing in the password, but yeah, I'm still going to try to remember not to show you that. Okay, so maybe that'll answer it. And when I clicked on validate, it crashes it. Okay, so that is a bug, but it's also something you're not supposed to be doing, I think. That's what my big problem was. I think my big problem was me and my memory today. Okay. So, yeah, it crashed it. So, it should be fine when I open it back up again, but let's see. I have this, I like to have things in like certain places, and I'm getting confused a bit because it's not in my normal way. Lucky. Okay. See, what I was thinking is I would do it as a super user in case I want to turn it into a automatic thing later on. All right. Now let's see. I might have made a. How do you do that? I can't remember if you make one over here or you have to make one on both machines. I had to, when I did make successfully set one up like that, I had to. Well, let's look in there again. Let's see, we're going to add. If I can figure it out, I'll do it. Advanced. It's going to make it full screen again. It's easier than dragging that all around. Now then, remote. Okay, user remote host as the source. This is the horse. The horse, of course. The horse is a horse, of course, of course. Something, something, a talking horse. Famous Mr. Ed. Used to be one of my favorite shows when I was a little bitty kid in the 60s. Okay, remote module. Yes, that's not one I can do. SSH port. Now, I guess you want to type the port in there, and then your private key file. I need to have, okay, private key, not public key. That means I would need a private key from her machine. So if I remote into hers, let's see if I've ever made one. I could make one, but let's see. Okay. Remote desktop can be really wonderful. It can really save you a lot of work. Help you get things done. But yeah, I know I'm the one doing it. It says here another computer is controlling your machine. Yes, I know. Thank you. Let's go into Crusader and see if I can. Yeah, okay, I think I have to get back to the home directory once it finishes opening up. Or it's probably opened up over there on the machine, but I'm not seeing it yet. I'm doing 2 remote desktops and streaming, so doing pretty good. Dot. I didn't do dot. I messed it all up. Dot SSH. Known hosts. And 103, 102, 102, 102. Okay. Gonna back those up. They weren't backed up. On dot. Back up. Dot. It's better, like if these files that don't have file extensions, it's better to like turn them into a text file or something, because sometimes they will work even with the wrong name. You never know for sure unless you got a great memory which ones will and which ones won't. But this is the public key, if I remember right. All these long numbers and letters, it's the public keys to these to this machine. I mean, of the machines we connected to. Now, what it said is you need a private key host file. And there's some pretty simple commands for making a private key. I was just looking in there to kind of refresh my memory. I didn't think there was like a dot private key folder. The simplest thing to do, I think, would be to make one. I don't think I have one in this machine. Let's look on my machine I'm on. I was already in there just a minute ago. Yeah, I don't even remember where it would be stored. Yeah, the search for the word private, and I don't think it would be in there because that would be security risk in that particular spot like that. So, I've done it before. Okay,
private key. So if I'm on here and I want to make a private key, I'm going to go to like my, I think I was in the downloads folder. That's just right where I was trying to go. Downloads is fine. Now I'm going to say open terminal here. Start terminal here, and I'll be in downloads. Now then, I think you have to be root. Yeah. Now then, I got to go find the commands though. Getting confused. That's my machine. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing all of hers. Oh, fit it to the current one. There we go. Well, that'll help a lot right there. I was fixing to say, am I going to have to go to full screen to see it? But yeah, I hadn't turned on the fit to Windows size. Let's see. It'd probably be quicker to Google it than to any other way. I guess I spelled create wrong or something. See, if you want to do SSH, SCP, SFTP, you can generate an authorization key pair. Keys must be generated for each user. Okay. To create users for keys for each user, use the following steps as a user who wants to connect to remote machines. If you complete the steps as root, only root will be able to use the keys. So I need to get out of that root terminal. I don't want root. That'd be probably not a safe thing to do anyway. Okay, and you must generate for each user, generate keys, following steps who wants to connect. Okay, I'm rereading the same thing. Starting with open SSH RSA. Okay, 2 keys. Why is there 2 commands? Okay, SSH known host and etc known host are obsolete. Oh, okay, SSH authorized keys 2, SSH known host 2, and etc known host 2 are obsolete. SSH protocol 1 and 2. Fedora 12 uses SSH protocol 2 and RSA keys by default. Well, this one is actually Fedora 14. That's what I was wondering. Okay, is this going to be too new? But it may not be too new. It's talking about. Okay, now here we go. Use. I thought I might have to go to that page, making SSH host key, but I think maybe that's where I'm actually at right now. Now, this give me the instructions, but what I want to do is, even though this is her machine, I'm going to save this, make a folder for it. I probably have it on my machines. No telling how many times, but okay. SSA, okay, 2. Use the following steps to generate an RSA key pair for version 2 of SSH protocol. This is the default, starting with SSH 2.9. I don't know what version is on this machine. Okay, well, let's try these commands. RSA 2 pair to work with version 2. Type the following commands, okay, and accept the default location. It'll be in SSH RSA, okay, enter the passphrase different from the account password and confirm it by generating it again. Public key is written to ID RSA pub. The private key is written to, I got to know that, SID RSA. Never distribute your private key to anyone, okay. Change the permissions of the file directory by using the following command. Okay. Copy the comments of the file to authorized keys machine which you want to connect. If the file authorized keys exist, append contents, change the file permissions to the authorized keys. Now, if I want to change file permissions, I just use Crusader to do that instead of all those commands. Because it gets tricky, getting it to happen in the right directory and everything. It won't hurt just to generate a key, and if I get hung up, I was about ready to back out and say, man, I can't even follow these instructions right now. But let's try it. And I'm not going to do it in that SSH directory. I'll just do it in my downloads directory. So I'm going to say back to open terminal here. That way anything that happens, edit, paste. I've already copied that. Run that. Generating the public private key RSA pair. Enter file in which to save the key. Home, theta, SSH ID, RSA. I think I just hit enter then. Or do I have to write something in there? Enter file in which to save. I'm going to write theta SSH. Enter the phrase empty for no passphrase. You know what? These are private key. You know, these are automatic anyway, so I'm going to leave it empty. It shouldn't be gotten to from anywhere but the local network anyway. Okay. It has been saved. Theta SSH. Okay, maybe it made a folder for it. Your public key has been saved in Theta SSH pub. Key fingerprint. Part image. Okay, so that's all done. And I think I can actually save output as, because I'm going to need that. Okay. Well, that's the door. I can't read it. Where'd you go? I need to make you bigger. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Downloads. That'll be fine. There. Now I'll have that. Okay. Now it tells you to go to, let's see, it told me in that command line, and it tells you to change the passwords. That little deal there has got me kind of, well, what I can do then, I'll do it with the commands, but I'm going to do it the easier way to me. Okay, so I'm going to go to, which one do I change first? For the directory. Okay, I want to go find that directory. I've got Crusader opened up in a weird place. I've got to move it. It's got to be over there where it makes sense to me. Okay. That's the order in which I need it. Okay, so saved it to home theta SSH ID. Okay, enter the phrase. Okay, home theta. If that's ordered newest, it should be at the top. It's not in there. Enter the file which to save home theta.ssh ID RSA .ssh. Maybe it was better There is no folder. File in which to save home theta.ssh id. I guess I need to go back to those instructions. Dot SSH underscore ID. Yeah, it's not in here anywhere, and that, nothing added to that folder. I mean to that, yeah, that folder. So the instructions say they're going to be, sometimes the instructions are, it's not where they say in the instructions, that's one reason why. Accept the default location. .ssh ID RSA. That looks like, that squiggly line in front of it's what's throwing me off. That's not what you normally see when they write stuff out. That looks like, but that makes me think it would be on the root, absolute root directory of the system. Public keys are written to .ssh ID RSA pub. Okay. Chi is written to IC RSA. Okay. Change the permissions of the SSH directory. Well, is that the one in theta? That must be the one in theta. Let's go to the root directory and make sure, but go to root. Yeah, see, there's no .ssh here. And I didn't do it as root. Can't even go in there. I could if I could open up Crusader, and I think that problem is I don't remember. I was going to just do it in Crusader by saying right click. So if this is the right directory, I think it is, I'd go to properties and say permissions, and you know, .777, but I don't remember what 777 represents. Can I do it that way? Yeah, I don't remember, so I thought, well, I better run the command. Okay, so can I do that? I'm back on my machine. You better pay attention where you're at. That's the one thing about having not having it full screen. Let's see. Okay, this is Team Viewer. I can make Team Viewer full screen without. Yeah, that'll keep me from doing that again. Where's her? Oh, I'm not using Team Viewer. That's for the ASRock. This is the one I'm a bit afraid to make full screen. Let's see. Yeah, full screen mode. Now, if I get hung, okay, so there it is up there. I can go back, but it's right there. Okay, but sometimes it doesn't want to respond. That's why I don't like to do that. That, and it makes it slow for me to move around. But okay, so I want to chmod 775.ssh. Okay, so I think I can just do that from anywhere if I understand that command right. So let's get back into my terminal window. Edit. I'll just do edit paste. Okay. So I got an extra space in there? No. Okay, no complaints, so I did it. All right, now go back to the other instructions. Now copy the contents SSID pub to the file SSH authorized keys on the machine to which you want to connect. To the machine you want to connect. That's what I got to do with like Crusader or something. Okay. If the file SSH authorized keys exists, append the contents of the file. Okay. RSA pub SSH ID RSA pub to the file. Okay. On the other machine. Change the permissions of the authorized keys file using the following command. I think I want to do that first. SSH authorized keys. I think I want to do that before I do all the rest of it. I think. Whoops. Paste. Cannot access. Okay, no such file. Okay, so I'm wrong about that. Okay, let's read this again. See, this is why I don't do this very often. It's very detailed instructions. Copy the contents of into the file. Okay, so I got to go to SSH RSA pub. Now, do I have that now? Just SSH. No, I didn't think I did. SSH pub. So then maybe they are actually talking about going to no. There is no SSH folder on there. That's the absolute root directory of the system. And if I actually want to go to root and look for it in there, I will have to say tools root mode Crusader, and then I got to put in the root password. This is on her machine. Okay, that password I still remember. Okay, now I have another set of Crusader. I'll just move it over. So I'll see, now you got the blue one is normal user, the red one is root user. Now if I can go wherever I want. There is no .ssh. Am I just completely... There should be a .ssh in there. See, that's got some known hosts in there. But that's it. There's nothing else that says SSH in there either. Okay. But it says copy the contents of into the file. What was the last command I ran in there that worked? chmod. Oh, okay, 775. Okay. So I did that part up there just fine. Now copy the contents to the file authorized key, SSH authorized keys. Oh, I'm just going nutty here, aren't I? So actually I want to go back to home. Whoops, I'm in the terminal window. Theta. But it's not, doesn't say authorized keys. Folder. Known host doesn't have authorized keys. So you know what? It may be because Fedora 14 doesn't have that version. But I just did that command and it worked. Where did it tell me it was going to be? This may not work at all. I may be chasing my own tail here. Okay, generate the public key pair. Right. Home. Save key. Home theta.ssh ID RSA. Home theta. There is no .ssh. Oh man. I try to do things faster when I'm making a video, and I think the harder I try to do things faster, the longer it takes. I try to... Yeah, it may not seem that I was trying to do it the fast way, but again, I thought this might... I knew I've had trouble. I've done it before, but I've also had trouble getting it all figured out. Let's see. I think my big problem now is that the SSH version on this is older. There's ways to find all that out, but I didn't want to go into that. I just thought I'd try it like a dork. Okay. I would have thought that it would have made those folders and everything with like, okay, go back to where's my terminal window? Go back to my terminal window, and it says enter the file in which to save the key on theta.ssh ID RSA. Let me make this bigger. Maybe no. Yeah, there's nothing missing there. Enter the passphrase. Your identification has been saved in theta SSH. Oh. Maybe that's my whole problem. I gave it that name, which maybe you didn't have to do that, but we'll see. Let's see. Not there. Maybe I'm probably looking for the wrong folder all this time. Okay, this is absolute root. Yeah. Okay, now then. Shouldn't be in root though. I'm going to do a search. First, search for theta SSH somewhere on that system. I'm doing it in the root Crusader mode so that it can find it no matter where it is without any restrictions. Oh heck, it's going to go through all the backups and everything though. Back mint, I see that's where it started. Back mint OS, that's the backup drive. That may take all day. Might not have wanted to do that. Okay, I went blank again. Enter passphrase. Okay, your identification has been saved in theta SSH. Your public key has been saved in theta SSH pub. Okay, so that's where I need to be looking. Oops. There's no .theta folder either in there. And there's no new file either. If there wasn't, you know, in the theta home directory, it would find it. And copy the contents of .ssh. Yeah, I would need to copy the contents of that file if I could find it into my .ssh authorized keys file over on the other machine. And then append the contents of .ssh ID RSA pub to the file. So if I were, well, that's searching. Where did it go? While that's searching, I'll just let it do it. Let's see if it's gonna. I don't know. It may take all day and all night, and I may have to stop it. But let's do it while I'm, because now I'm thinking, okay, let's get on that. Let's see if I can find .ssh authorized keys or .ssh ID RSA on the newer system, and then maybe tell me whether or not what I'm trying to do is just not going to work at all, because I'm in, you know, it's not supported in Fedora 14. Okay, let's go back over here to the Fedora 26 system, and I guess I'll just go over here. Let's see. Let's go there. Get my. I need my Crusader before I can get to it quick. It's bugging me. Yeah. It's always something, especially if my memory was just better, I wouldn't have quite so much trouble with all this, but yeah, see, just known host is the only thing in the .ssh folder for home Don, and then See, there's no dot folders in the root directory on this system. There's not an SSH folder. Of course, I haven't run that, that file, that command on here either. But I can't go into root without, which I can do that, but I was just. So let's see if it'll work. I think it's the debaying system I was using to do my router. Cannot start Crusader root mode because Crusader KDSU is missing. Oh, okay. I think if I install KDE tools, that'll be installed. That was one reason why I just thought, well, if I install the whole KDE desktop, all that junk will be there. I think I can fix that, but not right now. There's no sense in that right now. Okay, so let's get back. Just found something. What is it? Oh, download commands to make Theta. That's my file I just made. Theta downloads Theta DASH. Theta downloads Theta DASH on Theta KDE share apps. Recent documents. So did it end up making it in the downloads folder? That is where I opened my terminal, isn't it? So I should have just been on like Theta or something. Oh, what is it? There it is, Theta SSH. There they are in my downloads folder. Why did I not remember that was part of my plan to make them easy to find? Why? Okay, Theta pub, Theta SSH, and now I can move them to wherever I want them to be, or copy them, or do whatever I want. All right, so maybe all is not lost yet. So I guess I can stop that, stop working the machine so hard. I think I found what I needed to know. I'll leave that root mode open in case I need it. But I was purposely doing it just as Theta because that's how I wanted it. I wanted it to, that's all I want. I don't want root mode, access. I don't want it to be dangerous, a dangerous key. Okay, so back to the instructions then. Yeah, see those instructions, I guess I don't know. I mean, it looked like it told me I needed to give it that name there, so I did. Now, if I'd left it blank, what would have happened? I don't know. I probably not have ever found anything. I guess I did it right, but yeah, okay. Commands that worked and didn't work, okay. Now, starting to get hungry. I'm going to eat lunch. Well, if I can get this to work and get to my backup started, I can go take a break and go eat lunch and come back later. Okay. Copy the contents of SSH RSA pub. Maybe I messed that up by giving it that name, because maybe the default name would have been ID RSA pub. But I've got what I've got, so let's try using it into authorized keys. Now, it's a little different in Fedora 14, but on the machine which you want to connect. Okay. So I want ID pub. Now I've got all this stuff in my way. I want this one. Let's go ahead and hit view. Yeah, I want to copy that over to my other machine that I'm trying to. Only problem is I can't connect with them on my with Crusader like normal. I guess I can do it. I can use my USB key. I might be able to do it from. No, this is on a different router. Our IP address is 10.106, which I believe I already. Yeah, I figured all that out a while ago. And then let's see what's in this one. And this will be. That is the private key, so yeah. Not supposed to show that. But, okay, that's the private key. That's the pub for public key. Now I'm getting it. Okay.
Actually, I don't remember where I'm supposed to. Definitely don't want it in the downloads folder, but I don't know that I actually want it in there either. Well, let's just, yeah, I'm going to leave them where they are in case it throws things off. But what I need to do, oh, I can't put this into her machine unless I want to go in there. Well, okay, let me think through my plan of attack here. I may be able to do something different. So what I need to do is, chmod 644. How come I wonder that didn't work? Let's look on those errors and see, because now I realize where I was in my terminal. I was actually in downloads when I started, which I was part of my plan so that I would know how to find things right there. Okay, but when I ran that chmod 664, authorized keys cannot access home theta SSH authorized keys. Okay, no such file or directory. Am I going to have to make that file? Authorized keys. See, that's not named authorized keys. Do I need to rename it or something? I have known hosts. Okay, home theta SSH authorized keys. Known hosts. Maybe I need an authorized keys file. Okay, so I'm going to put those both right now into SSH. You probably don't want the private key over there in that folder, so I'll probably move it somewhere else. But for right now, I'm going to put them in there. And I might have to name that authorized keys, I'm thinking. It might have not done that if I wouldn't have typed that in there. Okay, theta SSH. All right. Actually, if I wasn't making a video of how I'm doing this, that could be a way to make it more secure, because people wouldn't know that, know your name if you don't use the default name. If I'm understanding this, I'm very much not new. Even though I've done it before, I'm new to it because it's been a couple of years since I did it. Copy the contents of SSH pub to authorized keys on machine on which you, okay, I need to look for, there is no SSH authorized keys. On the machine in which you, so if I copy that over there and then rename it to authorized keys, want to connect. I want pub, not private, okay? So, but I can't get into her machine like I want to. I've already been trying that. There is one thing I might could do. There is a way to use remote desktop. I've got so many remote desktops going. Disables keyboard shortcuts by default so that any okay. I guess that's the way it's going to be. So, what is that I want to connect to? 108, I think, yeah. No, wait, this is, yeah, 0.108, I believe. This is getting too many remote desktop sessions, I think. Why is it in the command line? Oh, I didn't set the right kind of connection. I did SSH. You can do that with that app. I want BNC. It did answer. What other connections can I do? RDP, Spice, and SSH. The only ones I know how to use are
VNC and SSH, but I don't want to run commands on that machine. I just want to connect. All right. Why did I do that? Because I want to, this time we'll make it fit. All right. There we go. Now what I want to try to do is, I hope this particular app has that, there's a file sharing part of these apps is what I'm wanting to do. Oh, I don't see it. I should have looked on these other ones before I tried that. Using up more, what I'm saying, I'm using up more network stuff, but okay, so I'm in TeamViewer, and I did a kind of in some way a remote. I'm connected to what am I connected to? I'm connected to the ASRock, and I used a regular VNC, one of the regular VNC apps. It's called Remote Desktop Viewer to connect to the mom's computer. So actually right now I have two connections to it. I've got this one that I've been using, and then I opened up a new one from, I'm in a remote desktop and did another remote desktop connection. So, and what I was planning to do is use the file sharing part, and I don't think this one actually has it. Some of them do, some of them don't. I didn't think about that at the time. Some of them have a, like, file sharing right here when you connect, you know, like say maybe I would do SSH and then do, no, it's not going to have it. So that's not going to work in that case. Okay, now get myself all turned around. Go ahead and leave Lucky Backup like it is. Okay. 108. Let's try it one more time. I could have been typing the wrong address all this time. I just don't understand why it don't work, but it doesn't work. 0.108, and I think you can't do 10.106 from here. Just still just says a protocol that it can't do. Actually, that machine, FTP 192.168, it will do Samba. I have Samba networking set up on it. I think maybe the router is stopping that, or there's something in the new version of Crusader. Always been able to do that in a heartbeat. That's really aggravating. Okay. I'm going to close Crusader in this machine so that I will stop trying to do that. Okay, this is the new machine. Okay. New machine. I do not have really much in the way of FTP on here. DNF. I forgot to mention that the updater I was running, I'll get back into all that again, but I was trying to update and it didn't work yesterday. Yum extender DNF, that's all I want right now. Trying to get into another section, get them separated from each other. Workspace 4. There we go. Now, what's it doing? Oh, it's refreshing the repository metadata. So you want to let it do that. I'm going to install Filezilla to do this, which may be how I should have done my backup anyway, but Filezilla gets me confused, and I'll end up with my file permissions wrong and the file dates wrong sometimes if you don't set it just right. You won't get what you want out of Filezilla unless you're really accustomed to using it all the time. Now I'm just going to install Filezilla, and the rest of the things there I should just where's the active do it button? I'm going to go to full screen so that I'm getting confused because I don't know if I'm seeing everything. Okay, I think you have to use this, probably that, yeah, apply pending applications. This is different than Yamax. So I'm going to install Filezilla. I'm thinking it should be asking me for, it's only 4.6 megabytes. Asking me for the ask me for the root password. What machine am I on? ASRock. Okay. Of course, I wouldn't. Well, actually, it's actually turning out pretty helpful. Normally, if I wasn't making a video, I would just be working on the machine that I would probably just use my KVM. Well, with Mom's, I can't. It has to be remote desktop, but I would just be on the machine with my KVM switch. But in order for me to do this all in a video, then it needs to be all. That's why I'm doing so many different remote desktop connections. See, so yeah, I'm doing screencast. So whatever machine I get on, you'll see it through whether I'm remote or I'm on it, or well, if I switch with my KVM switch to one of these other machines, all I can do is use the camera, and that's just a blurry picture at a bad angle. And I could get the angle maybe. Well, I really can't. The way my room desk and everything's situated, if I got it straight behind me, then it would actually be further back behind my chair, and well, I could zoom in a little more. But the more you zoom in, the more blurry it gets. And then when I can't get out of my chair without knocking my camera's on a mic stand, you could be knocking it over. So yeah, I can use Filezilla. It should hopefully to connect to, unless it won't go through that router for some reason. There could be something in the firewall stopping that on that router that I'm not used to running into. Maybe I turned something on that I don't even remember. But the thing is, though, okay, that is installed yet. Yeah, the thing is, let's go ahead and is that it's not giving a can't connect error. It's saying that Crusader doesn't support this, and it always has before. I don't. I mean, I know I've used Crusader. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of times I've typed in SFTP IP address and gone there. So that's not something. That's new. That's not normal. Although I'm seeing the same problem in my Fedora 23. I guess I could try connecting to some other machine and see what happens. But let's get files that. Well, you know what? Let's just see if I'm right or not. What is my? If I can remember. What I had been doing is I had that same router forwarded to my server, and I could go to my server that way. I can't. I'm going to say, what could I don't have another. Let's see, ASRock is on there. What's the ASRock's IP address? ASRock. This is ASRock. Okay, let's get its IP address. 106, and it's 0.106. They're so similar that gets me confused. See, the other one was 10.106, I think. Okay, now let's just see if I've lost my mind or what's going on. This should work. Connection refused. Okay, but see, it doesn't say that protocol's not supported. It just says connection refused. I don't have. Actually, I did install Very Secure FTPD, but I haven't set it up yet. I did it yesterday. So it says connection refused. Instead of saying no route to host, if I didn't have an FTP installed, it would say no route to host. But I do have an FTP server installed. I just haven't configured it to accept any connections. So it says connection refused. So see, that's what I would normally do. So why is that not working? Maybe it's got to do with the router, and the errors are really not that accurate, to help me out. Could be that I can't do this even when I set everything up. Okay, now, what was my goal? What was I trying to do? Okay, Filezilla. There's Filezilla. And once we get that opened up, then how come that happened? I might have clicked on something. File manager. Don't really know why that did that. Okay, I might have clicked one of those links by accident. I just wanted to Okay. Filezilla. Let's move it. I'll leave it there. Okay, now I want to go to, what machine do I want to go to? 108. What is it on my network? In here would tell me, yeah, I can just do that. 0.108. I'll even copy it. That's where that's my last connection. You can have multiple connections. So this is my last connection in here, which is connected to, oh, that gets me to what? That's not Mom's machine. Yeah, that is Mom's machine. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this is hers. I'm losing my orientation here. Yeah, there we go. Theta. That's her machine. Okay. So if I go back over here and I want to connect to it, that would be the IP address that'll get me there. I'm going to go ahead and put in the port. I want to make sure I use the SFTP port. All right, now then, would you like Filezilla to remember the password without having to type it in? Okay, save the password, protected by a master password. Do not save the password. I kind of would like to save it, but I don't want that machine always. Usually you can say save the password just for this session. That's what I was really looking for. I'm going to say do not save it, even though it's a pain in the butt, it's safer that way. Okay, now do you want to trust this key? There's the, that's the public key right there, see? That machine has. And so yes, I want to save, and that's the fingerprint, they call it. Okay, see, now we're connected with no problem. I thought maybe, that's one good thing about this Filezilla app, is it usually does connect without problems. It doesn't ever, you got to always drag these around and get where you can read stuff. And see, I can't read none of the folder names or anything. Try dragging that on over there. But you have to pay close attention to what you're doing because, okay, local site, home dot. Now I want to get to that backup drive. Where will I find that in here? There's a couple of different versions. Put them in, oh, I know where. Put them in different places. It's going to be in, it won't be in media like it used to be in the olden days, or mount. It used to always be media or mount. Now it's in run media, I think. I hit the wrong letter. There it is, media, Dawn. So you get expansion drive. There we go. Okay, now I made her a folder. Back up. And I won't try to reorganize the, like the newest on top. Now, Theta is backup. Okay. Now, I'm not going to keep fiddling around trying to make Crusader work. I'm just going to do my backup. Okay, so I'm going to back one. All I want is her whole home directory. Now you can click buttons up here, or you can right click. Okay, download, add to queue, create directory, so-and-so. What I wanted to do is like skip all the cache files and all that stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it. Download. It's doing it. See, that will, very simple to get started. You just have to be very careful that you select things the way you should. I'm going to, yeah, that's fine. I get worried that, you can delete files with this. When you're SFTP, you could delete files. So you got to be careful. You could delete like a whole home directory or something. So you don't want anything like that to happen. I'm trying to think, where would I click to feel more safe? Lost and found, that would probably regenerate itself. But see, that's going away, going, and it should be fine. I'm just going to forget, I'm sorry, I hate quitting in the middle of something. Oh, dummy me. I actually meant to finish trying to set that up. I saw how easy that was going to be, and I just did it. Okay, so if I wanted to do another, I can't do another connection from this window now, I don't think. Or can I? Actually, I might be able to. These things don't always come up. There we go. Where's the new? Open a site. Yeah, there it is. No sites available. You can do like a new. I don't want to break this connection. You can do a new connection, but I definitely don't want to break this connection. So let's see. Transfer. Cancel current operation. I'm going to say add bookmark. Cannot seem to type. Seagate USB HD. Okay, I just want to save it as a bookmark. Okay, I'm trying to see. I know I don't know, maybe if you just type in there, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to jack this up. Maybe if you just type in there, it would say, do you want to, I think you can just do that, even though that's working away. I think you can just type in there a new connection. I forgot. I really meant to go try to copy that host key, and I just saw, hey, here we are connected to our machine. Let's start doing our backup like we intended to do in the first place. Oh, this is the same machine. I don't think I can, since this is the same machine where that host key is, and I will have it actually once this is done. Okay. It'll be in the SSH folder where I put it over here. Where is it? Okay, I can show it to you. Yeah, go back in here. Let's close some of this extra stuff. I'm gonna close the web browser. No, close it because I don't want any of these running applications to resist their files being copied. But yeah, these ones that I put in here, which I really don't want to leave the private key in there. I mean, you'd have to break completely into the machine to get there, but I don't think that's a smart place to save it. But and lost those instructions now, but I can go back and follow those instructions later, I guess. I'm going to close this app now. Matter of fact, I'm going to close the connection to this machine now. So I'm, less network traffic. Okay, now. So that's the easier way to do this than what I'm going around and around trying to. The only good thing about Lucky Backup is you can have it automatically back up every time the machine boots or whatever. You can set like a weekly, monthly schedule or whatever. If you're trying to back up your machine and keep it up, the backup's up to date. I find the best way to do it is like, for me, 10 minutes after it boots up, and that's what I do with Lucky Backup on all my machines that I use all the time. And what I've been doing, I used to back them up across the network and stuff, or onto another partition on the same hard drive, or other hard drives in the same machine, like my old Fedora 14 machine has like 4 hard drives in it or something. I used to do that. But my backups will be in another separate hard drive, so if that hard drive that I run off of failed, it's most likely the other hard drive wouldn't fail. Now that I have this big USB backup drive, it goes to that USB drive. And one plus to it is I can unplug it, move it to another drive for one-time backups, and that's kind of cool. In this case, I'm doing it across the network because simply because I didn't want to take it in the other room, plug it in there, and then leave it there. And like I said, if Mom goes to sleep, goes to bed during all this or something, then I wouldn't be able to, I didn't want to bother her, to get in there and get it back. But with the machine just running, she should be able to go to bed if she wants. I turned off the monitor, so there won't be any light shining in the room other than the big red lights on the front of that box. But she doesn't like that either, but should be all right, I think. So, now I want to get in there and figure that out and do it since I got it half done. But I won't do it now. I'm just going to let this is working, let it do it. Any future backups, if I, maybe I'll go ahead and finish that. But I wanted to do it since I was in the middle of it. I'm glad I'm doing this because I really need a break. And that was going to take, if it worked, no telling how much more longer. I'd been lucky if it had got it done in another 30 minutes. Well, I don't know. Never know. But, yeah, we're on the remote desktop. Okay. But yeah, if you were watching this, or if I watch it back later, it probably makes more sense to you than it has to me. I've got myself turned around. But, yeah, I would copy the keys to the right places. Actually, I would have to copy them over to my machine, those keys that I made, like that, the pub, the one that said pub on the end. I'd copy it over. And then, actually, I thought I was going to have to open it up and put it into that known host, but it doesn't say known host. It said, I think what I would need to do is just copy it over and then rename it to the name it's looking for, whatever that name was. I've already forgot it. And then I think it would work, and it needs to be in that .ssh folder. My mind finally opened up to that. The private key, I probably need to figure out where they're saying that the default location that it should be in. Maybe I have it in the right place. I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to look again. Maybe that is where it belongs, but I might need to rename it to what they were saying the name should be. I think it would have been the right name if I wouldn't have typed my own name in there. But I'm sure it wouldn't work without the default names the more I think about it. So at least not without some more knowledge of how to make that work. So, but this is all I wanted. I just wanted to get this back up going. It's at least like 110 gigabytes, I think. And so, it's going to take 1 to 3 or 4 hours to do that, maybe even more. It's pretty fast, though. This Filezilla is a fast copier. The only one that says faster, the only one that might be faster is Lucky Backup. If I did it in Crusader, which I couldn't because I couldn't connect, that is one of the easier ways to do it in Crusader when it works right. But or it used to be. But it is a lot slower, and it will end up, the longer it runs, the more memory it uses. And so if you're doing lots of files like that, it might even lock up the machine you're doing it on. You can just be really aggravated. This one I don't think will lock up. I've used it for at least an hour or two at a time, let it keep copying. The thing is, I hope I didn't miss a selection in there in the options. I did SFTP in port 22, so I think it will go ahead and give the original file dates. It won't change them to today. If it changes them all to today, it makes subsequent backups really confusing for the applications and for me when I look through the files. Yeah, you don't want to do straight FTP. You can, but if you do just plain old FTP, you will get today's date on every single file you copy, and you will hate it, I tell you. So, it's working away, so I made it go into that folder that I made. We'll just let it work. Let's see. Yeah, it says process so many of that many directories, but that's just files of that many directories. See, it's working away pretty fast. You can kind of see how fast it's going because it's got a little graphic down there. And yeah, that's been getting all of our files out. I did her whole home directory, so it's going to get. Actually, I clicked off of that on purpose to not. Oh, see, there we go. Oh, I see. Yeah. So if I'm there and then I click there and hit copy, and then and that's what you're getting. So. Click over here on that side. I certainly wouldn't want to accidentally delete any of that by, sometimes when you right click, your finger slips and it hits
there's a delete option in there almost always, you know, so that's why I had moved my selections around. It still makes me uncomfortable. I'll put it over there. Okay, but yeah, this is the folder. I could open it up, but I'm going to leave it like that. But it's copying away. Hopefully I won't, as long as my network doesn't get a little tired or anything, so much work. This is through the wired, not the wireless, so it shouldn't. Wireless would probably, especially, it could actually stop working after that, you know, an hour or so of doing that. See, after I get done with the stream, I usually have to reboot my router, but I got to remember not to, I can't reboot this router until this is done now. It's going through two routers. It's going to TP-Link and the TrendNet. So either one of these routers, if I reboot them, I break this. So think about that. And normally what I've been doing every day when I get done with a live stream, I reboot the router to make sure the wireless is still going to work for everyone else. I actually don't use wireless too much unless I get on one of those laptops. Okay, so we'll give the wireless a break. I need a break. I got to eat lunch and stuff. So let's go make sure everything was still working. I always like to know that when I'm right before I quit. Make sure my stream was still working. And then I'll get out of here and come back when it's all done, which probably be this evening, but maybe it'll be another day. Never know how things are going to turn out. Last night I quit thinking I might come back, and instead I ate supper and went to bed. I was tired. And okay, yeah, places and come back when it's all done. Okay, that's a good thing. We're still streaming good, and we're on 2 hours and 21 minutes. So, man. I don't care how simple you think it might be going to be. How many times you've done something before? How many years you've done it before? It's always getting changed, so you never know what you're going to run into when it's. See, I've been using Fedora 23, and everything's been working as usual. And now with this new Fedora 26 system, it's actually the first time that I've tried to do all that stuff in Fedora 26, and I ran into all that. Everything is different and not working right. The way I expect it to. All right, how do I get out of here? Oh yeah, I meant to do that. So yeah, so that's it. I'll come back later when I get back to it. All right, bye.